So welcome to the Workplace Wellbeing Essentials Expert Interview Series. I'm very excited today to have my guest, Leigh Stringer, joining me for this conversation. Leigh is a workplace strategy expert and researcher. Leigh works for EYP, an architecture, engineering, and building technology firm. She's the author of the best-selling book, The Green Workplace: Sustainable Strategies That Benefit Employees, the Environment, and the Bottom Line. And her most recent book, The Healthy Workplace: How to Improve the Well-being of Your Employees and Boost Your Company's Bottom Line. And well, you can see I probably had a few things that caught my attention when I was reading this. So Leigh, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Mari.
So you come from the world of architecture. So I'm curious from your perspective, and in your most recent book, you show that it pays to invest in people's well-being. What's the payoff for employers?
It's lots of different levels. There's all kinds of research showing that companies that win health and wellness awards are outperforming other organizations on the S&P in the stock market. So there's that. There's all kinds of evidence showing that really good wellness programs pay for themselves in terms of reducing chronic disease and improving smoking cessation and things like that. It obviously improves the healthcare cost. And companies that are really getting it are really starting to invest in the engagement of their employees, are seeing incredible growth. I think, the growth to the sales numbers, right? The top line, not just the bottom line. And it's exciting to see that organizations are not just saving money, but actually bolstering and exciting their employees to the extent that they're able to do that. There are other things in terms of the built environment, just to cover that real quickly, which I can't help myself. But we're seeing that buildings that actually offer health and wellness amenities are absorbed in the real estate market faster, which means they're being leased out more quickly. We're seeing that they also are able to capture a greater amount of rent, or a higher rent per square foot. And it really is a competitive advantage now. There are also all kinds of new building, for lack of a better word, awards that you can get, or ways of proving that your building is healthy. There's the WELL building certification. There's a new one called FitWell, which I'm really excited about, which was developed by the CDC, which really just very simple things that you could do in your building which improve health outcomes. But it's a plaque that helps companies differentiate themselves, basically, at the end of the day, saying we care about our employees. And there's also, really interestingly, there's an index called the GRESB index, which is really a financial vehicle for REITs and real estate investment trusts and folks like that to really look at the performance of their building portfolio. And one of the big criteria that's come out in the last go-round of these REITs is looking at that healthy criteria of buildings, which goes into how they're evaluated. So there's definitely a win-win-win for thinking about health and wellness on all levels within the organization.
So it sounds like they're making the connection because they're starting to really be able to measure the impact of this. Is that right?
Yeah, so they're measuring the impact, organizations on the impact on their employees and the performance of their stock, as well as their ability to resell their building, or their ability to, if you're a real estate developer or a building owner, you're able to see higher value and higher rents by investing in your building.
Great. It's great to see that it's so measurable. That's great. It makes a much better business case, much easier to sell.
Well, at the end of the day, we have to do that. I mean, business is about money. It's about, being able to sell things and being able to provide value to the marketplace. And one way to bolster that value is to improve the machine, i.e. the people, the well-being of the people who are running your company. And if you can do that, then you're much more likely to see positive outcome.
Fabulous. So, Leigh, I'm curious. So what do organizations need to do to invest in their workforce?
There's so many ways. So one of the things that I like to talk about with organizations when they're first getting started, chances are they probably already have started somewhere. There's someone who was really interested in meditation, or in our case, in my company's case, there's someone who's really interested in teaching yoga. And so she just got her yogi license. Not sure what that's called, but she's an official. She can officially teach yoga. And so she's like, hey, I'll just offer some classes, at 5:00 on Mondays. And we've kind of come up with a schedule that works for everyone, doesn't disrupt the work schedule. And it's been wonderful. Number one, to have her be able to practice and become a better and better yoga instructor, but also for all of us to benefit from the mindfulness and the health benefits there. And I think, there are lots of other examples of, there's one I'm thinking about, a woman who worked at BlackRock who started a mindfulness practice and was just basically decided to do it in New York. She's like, BlackRock's a pretty stressful organization. I'm really interested in getting a mindfulness certification to become a mindfulness coach, if you will. And so she got a bunch of people around the table, 30 minutes over lunch, and basically in a conference room we did a mindfulness class. And then other cities were interested in doing it too, so they turned on the conference call, and actually they would call in, sitting in conference rooms across the country to have this 30-minute mindfulness course. And she started measuring it. Everyone started saying they really, were feeling better about their job. They were feeling less stressed. They felt more productive, and it took off. And these are examples of kind of bottom-up strategies, but I think if they come authentically from somebody in the organization who's really interested in teaching a spin class or whatever the case may be, going on walking meetings during the day, whatever, I think that is a really wonderful place to start. I think that there are also great examples of leaders who have taken on the banner of health and well-being and productivity and are really showcasing some awesome results. I've been very impressed. One of the companies that I wrote about in the book is called Next Jump. And there are many leaders in that organization who I was talking about, kind of companies that really take it to the next level, not just health improvement, but really engaging their employees. And they're trying and experimenting with all kinds of crazy stuff with their employees' help, and looking and measuring outcomes. And they're very clear about, hey, we don't do anything unless it pays for itself, unless it actually sees a business outcome. We're in the business of business. We're not a health company, whatever. But no, I think it's been pretty exciting to see some of the specific work that they've done. And Motley Fool is another one I write about in the book. But there are lots of other examples of leaders around the world. Even my CEO is really a huge biker. And I've noticed that when he does his announcements to the firm, how you have these corporate announcements, quarterly results or whatever, he often does it on a bike. He's getting on a bike and he's, biking off and then, telling a story. And it's, health this kind of overlay. Like, hey, it's okay for me to do this. I'm running this, CEO of this company. You can do it too. That's a wonderful message, even if it's, he's not really running a biking program, but he's sending a message that this is important.
Well, that's fabulous. Those leaders that are role models are so essential to be able to really show that they're human and that they do this too, but also to be the role model within the organization so that other people will follow. And I love your ideas about some of the more grassroots, bottom-up kinds of things, the low-hanging fruit of the things that can easily be done at low cost, and really be able to bring those forth in the organization. So those are really helpful ideas, Leigh. So love to say, just, again, suggest this, highly recommend Leigh's book. So you can see I've had lots of things that caught my attention in this. And Leigh, if people want to follow you or get on your mailing list, how can they find you?
You can go to leighstringer.com. It's Leigh, Stringer, like it sounds.com. And you can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm more than happy to talk and chat and share research or other things. I try and also to put out a newsletter on a regular basis of, hey, here's the latest thing happening, and what I'm seeing that could be influential to your business.
That's great. I love receiving your newsletters. It's always got things that I just want to, be able to learn more about. So thanks so much for being such a great resource and for contributing so much to the health of the world by creating great resources, information, and of course your great book. Thanks for being here, Leigh.
Thank you for having me, Mari. My pleasure.